Hey people, into tier 2v2, Ancestor's Rest, blue side. Thaggoraki with a Chaos Sorcerer offensive and destructive hero powerful battlefield manipulation alongside. Grimm with a Farseer support hero that fights in melee combat powerful buffs, debuffs and control abilities. Red team, we've got some Imperial Guard. First up is Broodwich with a Lord General, fights in ranged combat, begins with a retinue of stormtroopers, can add to this retinue throughout the game, has strong defense and support. This is the Mordian Iron Guard, and this Lord General has no moustache. This is heresy. Rounding us off then is Atlas as an Inquisitor, offensive hero with powerful control, begins in melee combat but can get ranged weapons. Atlas, one of the main modders for Elite Mod these days, so give your thanks. I command it. We have Howling Banshees and Dire Avengers, double heretics with CSM in between, kicking off towards the north. We'll have a look at this map in a minute because it's the first time I've seen it played. Heretics, this is a bad approach. Unless you see a real opening, or you are flanking, or there's a melee squad coming in, just throwing our heretics in like that doesn't really achieve much. Especially if the Sorcerer's not around to tie things up. They were capping the VP. Now we have double guardsmen shooting at some CSM. More heretics coming in, but they're not going to fare much better. I mean, they are killing some of these retinue stormtrooper fellas, but they can just reinforce in thin air. CSM gets away without a loss, but heavy losses for both of the heretic squads. Big surprise there. They enjoyed death, I think. Sorcerer's now in, eats a stomp. Did not see a Doom Bolts fly out there. Meanwhile, in the south, Farseer runs off, as do some Dire Avengers. Banshees got in, but are dealt with eventually by the Inquisitor and the Sentinel. Let's have a look at this map then. New for 2.9, I believe this was a collaborative effort between Adilla and Swift. You have a natural VP to the west for blue, contested, and a natural to the east. Looks like we've got powers on the north that are a bit tougher to hit than the naturals to the south, maybe. In fact, this one's been hit already. This raised platform here doesn't have any points on it, but it'll be a good tool to flank stuff and get those power bashes. A multi-laser turret going up over here. How annoying. Shuriken cannon is in play. Banshees might want to try and get around. It's tough to do though. Kind of a narrow section here. They're going to run into the multi-laser turret. It's choosing to shoot at the Guardian weapon team. We've got right up on the Sentinel, still firing on it. Took a lot of damage there. They get the turret down pretty quickly. You now cannot salvage those things until tier 2. Someone kindly reminded me in the last game. Doom Bolts does fly out, but those guys ran off. They do have their sergeants. And, oh, more guardsmen. No heavy weapons squad down here for Atlas. Havoc's on the field for Thaggoraki. Can the Banshees find a way in? Try and bait this stomp out, which does have reduced radius these days, so it's a bit easier to try and dodge. Once you're locked into that melee charge, though, it can be hard to shift your fellas. They really want to get in there. Sorcerer getting some decapping done. So will the heretics. A lot of density of cover over here. Looks like the Lord General's going straight back to the north. He's not trying to push mid or something. CSM were on the contested, and Inquisitor comes over with her plasma pistol to try and deal with them. More Shuriken shenanigans. Guide is up on these guys from the Farseer. One of her starting abilities can buff a squad, so you have 30% more range, and I think it's 30% more damage too. Pretty useful for a setup team. These guys have an aspiring champion today? Nope. Just 8 heretics out for a walk. These guys eat a stomp and tons of lasgun fire. It's a miracle they survived. Double cap here early on for the red team. Catachans are up here. Versatile squad that can help you counter melee squads and counter a ranged blob too. Even support with their smoke grenade. Some spotters also for Atlas. Will help them shut down things that threaten the Sentinel. Like this. Boom. Called in that off-map mortar shell. They were originally meant to have an actual mortar gun, but that asset does not exist. Shuriken getting right up into the Sentinel's face again, but fires upon the spotters. That's a second Shuriken for Grimm. Here's the first one. North. Sentinel gets a decap, because it can do that. We've got some grenade launchers. Havocs might get flanked here. Heretics trying to get in. They do have an aspiring champion, but they ran into Catechans. That shotgun blast there, knocking them down and suppressing. They're actually pretty decent in melee combat too, with power melee weapons. Don't have a special attack though. Much like Heretics. Little Heretic fellas also don't have a special attack, which can sometimes help actually with your DPS, because you're constantly getting quick regular melee attacks in rather than doing a very slow although disruptive special attack, which typically does about the same amount of damage as a regular one, but you get that nice disruption. I mean, don't get me wrong, special attacks are great and they win melee fights, but for raw DPS, just continuously smacking on something is better. Where's the other guardsmen? Oh, they're still back at base. These guys are kind of isolated then. Really wants to get that turret up, eh? Here's another one, which is again going to go down. Some free XP for the Banshees. They have their aspect of strength. Oh, did they not get XP for that? Maybe I just missed it. Aspects for the Dire Avengers gives them those grenades, a health bonus, shields, and they get fleet, don't they? Doesn't say that on here, but I'm pretty sure that gives them fleet. It's a pretty good upgrade. Oh, the Inquisitor gets in. Guardian Weapon Team turns to face her, then gets knocked over, and she gets another good special as the Banshees come in. Doing a good job, but doesn't want to get too isolated with Banshees around. They can really chop up a low-level hero with those power weapons. Good grenades. Saw it a little bit late there. Did Atlas. Had a lot going on. What are these guys up to? Trying to get around for a flank. Stomp is dodged there, as you saw. Banshee's now chasing the Sentinel. It's in a big bit of trouble here. The heavy armor of the Sentinel takes a lot of damage from power weapons. These guys not trying to repair. They're trying to get as much DPS as they can, and they do enough. The base turrets, I'm sure, had a lot to do with it, though. But as that was going on, Grimm has moved on to the power. Meanwhile, north, we've got some Tzeentch worship. CSM with Eternal War. Those upgraded heretics. A Sword of Flame. The sword being on fire is a clue. And the Vestments of the Warp. Heretics get in. There's a Doom Blast, not a Doom Bolt. Yeah, not a whole lot Guardsmen can do once Heretics get in there. In fact, Heretics in general, pretty good counter for Guardsmen if they have their grenade launchers or their aspiring champion. They're pretty bad news for those guys in Tier 1. Once they get their Commissar and stuff in Tier 2, they scale a lot better, obviously. Can stand up in firefights a lot better. A full power bash by Grimm. And these double Sentinels are nasty, especially supported by a Farseer. Don't see Guide up, but maybe it's gone up already. Spotters doing their thing. Good flank by Atlas. Webway though, and suddenly Howling Banshees with Guide on them. Nasty. Look at the damage they're doing to that Inquisitor there. Is she going to get away? The Sentinel's there to stomp. No, does not stomp. Maybe. Perhaps. Oh, is it already stomped? Trying to escape. Trying to escape. Don't think it's going to work out for you, Mr. Sentinel. Down it goes. Must have already used the stomp. Maybe I just missed it on the screen. Oh my god, pathing, says Broodwich. What happened? Lord General's getting in there with no moustache. Doing a good job though. Got in on the Havocs. Needs some support. See the damage of a time going in from the Sword of Flame. Level 2 Sorcerer. And a level 2 Lord General. Constantly getting more Stormtroopers in to help him out. He's got a good supply of them. Heretics suddenly. And a good stomp. Lord General's still staying in there. Heretics just take damage so quickly. Any kind of focus fire. There's Coruscating Flame on them. Allows them to do damage of a time to nearby enemies. That's from the Sword of Flame. What was that? Oh, these guys just found the webway. Oh no, these fellas stuck. These fellas are stuck for Grimm. And that can happen. Oh, are they okay now? Oh, they're down. I'm not sure. One of the Shurikens has gone down. You can get your stuff stuck in webways if you move a setup team into webway without de-setting it up first, which can happen more often than you'd think. Not sure if that's what happened there, maybe it was. Falcon on the way for Grimm, and a Chaos Dreadnought for Thaggoraki. Blue team coming out swinging in Tier 2. Haven't seen a lot of action on this contested VP yet. Maybe that'll be more for the end game. CSM getting Aspiring Champion gives them the awesome Slaughter ability. Starts on cooldown. Has quite a lengthy cooldown too. It's like 2 minutes or something, I think. But it increases the fire rate by, I think, eliminating the cooldown of the weapons, or at least drastically reducing. It also allows them to pull out some melee weapons and get stuck in and actually do a really good job. Can be a nasty surprise for, say, Banshees early in Tier 2 if you run into a Slaughter CSM squad that pull out their melee weapons. These ladies, though, have CSM on their team. There's a sail with a Manticore. Nicely done by Atlas. Yes, Atlas. Almost wiped the Banshees. Perhaps unlucky not to there. Hammer of the Witches finishes off the last one. Yes, nicely done. Atlas got the kill. Excruciators there, giving him the assail, and also goes for the Inferno Pistol to try and shoot the Falcon and just generally shoot things. Manticore did well. Will it do well again? Inferno Pistol is in play, gives her the Judgment ability. Very powerful thing that you unfortunately don't get to see to go off all that often, because squads generally just run away once it starts, which is understandable and is still valuable. Oh, Dreadnought gets saved by the warp. That's one of the global abilities of the Chaos Sorcerer. Warp a friendly unit back to the Sorcerer's location. There's Dark Flames, it's a pretty good hit, but nothing there to follow it up. Those Catachans got that shotgun blast at just the right time. If they didn't, all that stuff shooting at them, they might have lost some more stuff. Sentinel has its missile launcher. This could be nasty. It's going to overshoot though, isn't it? Yeah. Because it's on a raised platform, it tends to overshoot. The same with all of these kind of projectile type things. I think he manually targeted that time. 272 to 307. Spotters down to 2 models. Do they have an upgrade? They don't. There's that Falcon. Good firepower on this thing. Allows you to reinforce and transport your infantry too. Bloodletters on the way for Thaggoraki. We've got some stormtroopers with anti-armor to help go after this Chaos Dreadnought, I should say. Getting some repairs. Uh-oh. Those are crack missiles. Are they going to fire quick enough to take out this Dreadnought before the auto kind of rips apart the Sentinel? It's going to be close, and he does get it. Level 3 Sentinel. And Thagoraki's not happy. Thought the Dreadnought had the DPS to take it down there, I suppose. 272 to 279. Very close on VPs. Who's going mid there? That's some guardsmen. I don't think... I'm not sure if this has been bashed. I mean, he's obviously tried. We saw the turrets going up and stuff. The power node has taken some damage. I'm not sure if he's got any of those actual generators down, though. Which is maybe why you're seeing this perceived power advantage for the blue team, because we had a Falcon up, a Dreadnought up, some Bloodletters now. Stormtroopers this time for Atlas. Manticore takes out the Falcon. This Manticore is doing some work. It really is. Was it the... Oh, it must have been a melter bomb that slowed it down. I wasn't actually paying attention. Why would I pay attention to things? Chaos Space Marines taking shots from frag missiles. Like that. And that's painful if you're bunched up. Look at this. Uh-oh. Here comes some Bloodletters. Guardsmen now have some plasma guns. Bad news for the CSM, but Bloodletters getting in there. Demons with Hellfire Blades, which are power melee weapons in the Elite mod. In retail, those things are heavy melee, which is mental. Sentinel took so much damage there, but does get the stomp. Bloodletters can get stunned. They can't get suppressed, though, which is a cool mechanic. They're demons. They have... Courage doesn't matter to them. A Fire Prism on the way for Grimm. Maybe it can hunt down that Manticore, which has been a bane for the Eldar over there. Sorcerer getting in to the Stormtroopers, level 3. Heretics are on retreat path. Bloodletters teleporting onto retreat path. Oh, Heretics got wiped. Heretics got... That was that Basilisk creeping barrage from the Lord General there. Hurt them pretty bad. And now we have fire on my target from the sniper rifle of the Lord General. And Atlas helping out too. No plasma guns over here though. These fellas don't have them. More Heretics for Thaggoraki. I'd say get some more grenade launcher fellas. Double grenade launchers coming in will disrupt a hell of a lot of stuff there. Then you teleport your bloodletters in. What are they going to do? Stomp the bloodletters, I suppose. Rune armor up for the Farseer. 201 to 272. Center is turning blue thanks to the Farseer. She's level 3. Sorcerer also level 3. Level 4 Lord General getting the flak jacket up. And a level 2 Inquisitor fully kitted out here with the mandate. 1-to-1 cap. This Sentinel's been used really well by Broodwich. Getting those clutch stomps in. There's a slaughter from the CSM. Switching to their melee weapons, but those are a bunch of plasma guns, fellas. And they took heinous amounts of damage there. Did they get away? Looks like they're okay. Auto cannon from the Havocs. Took about a high damaging weapon. Tied up by guardsmen. They must be so embarrassed, fellas. They are humans. Kill him. The Commissar squad leader over here, as you see. Oh, these guys don't have him. What about these fellas? Yes, they do. So some guardsmen dropped for Broodwich. Now only has one squad of guardsmen with plasma guns. As usual, I must have missed it. Too preoccupied with the Havocs getting tied up. Now they're on capping duty. 2-to-1 cap for the Blues. Fire Prism looking after that central VP. Has that disruptive dispersed shot, of course. Can make it hard to cap. We've got Rangers late game here for Grimm. And why not? Acts as a detector. Long range disruption to stop caps. I like it. What are we going to see? We see the Chaos pushing north again. Try and keep Broodwich occupied, I suppose. Keep them away from the mid. And if they do go mid, coming in from the north allows it to flank. Fire Prism gets a bloody hell. That has such range. That was without guide, I think. They have like 60 range, I think. Almost twice as much as like a standard, like a bolter or something. Which I think are like 38. Inquisitor trying to destroy a webway. What's she doing? Oh, she's shooting it. I thought she was waving her arms around for a spell. Oh, down she goes. Kicking off in north, Doom Bolts. Lots of buffs from the Lord General now. With that flak jacket. And the sniper rifle. Heretics getting blasted. I don't think it's worth it having melee Heretics here. They're just going to get shredded as they approach. Get those grenade launchers up, do some disruption and do some good damage too. Welcome to the no fun zone, says Thaggoraki. Pretty fun for the fire prisms though, eh? Where is the... Oh, where is she? She's right there. Now has the runes of reaping, does the Farseer. What are they shooting at? That was weird. Manticore going after the fire prisms, doesn't get it. Now we have some stormtroopers trying to throw out their melter, but they're getting knocked over. Another Farseer is having a word with a sword. Switching to the armor of the Assyrian, which will give her time field, an amazing ability, especially in team games. You shut down 2 armies with it if you're lucky. Catachinians have done really well. Level 3 have their Sarge, gives them a melter gun. And a bunker goes up. Predator tank now for Thaggoraki. In its default state. Nothing wrong with that. Might want to wait for your tank to kind of do well and earn its mark. Unless you're countering something very specific, I'd probably wait. Oh, he's gone for Mark of Corn. I was going to say I'd wait to see if Lehman Russes hit the field, then get Mark of Zinch up. Speaking of Lehman Russes, Broodwich just dropped one over here. And it's trying to hunt down those fire prisms, and it would easily take one out if it gets close enough. Fire prisms do have that range advantage, of course. Gonna run into a Chaos Predator. And those fire prisms doing some work, they can switch to their focused shot. And an auto cannon getting shots in. Can they take it down? They can. That's a big win. Broodwich being a bit careless there. Of course, didn't know that the Predator and Havocs were hanging out, but it was unsighted enemy territory, so should have been more careful. Can the blue team push off this now? They still have the VP, I suppose. They don't need to push. Sorcerer getting some Doom Bolts going. Level 5. It's pushed up with the Predator tank. I don't think they should have done that, because that's anti-armor stormtroopers, and they go down. Predator tank goes down, I should say. Yeah, I don't think you need to push it up. Look what Grimm's doing. Just keeping the fire prisms back, watching the VP. I mean, push up with your infantry, sure, because they can retreat. But pushing up with a vehicle when you know there's stormtroopers around with melter guns. Another fire prism from Grimm. Can they ever cap this now? Leman Russ for Broodwich, another one. This one not called in from HQ, or wherever the hell it comes from. What am I hearing? I'm hearing melter guns. Oh, they're bashing power. Might get a full bash. Nothing really seems interested in defending. Manticore's pushed up. Some more fire on my target. Should be able to shift the Havocs out there. Yep, they're running off. That was the grenade launcher from the Catachans coming in. 2-to-1 cap still. Continues to tick down. Manticore Strike actually doing some friendly fire. Well dodged by the Eldar there, using their fleet. Grenades on retreat. Nice idea. Couldn't quite pull it off perfectly. And now has no grenades to fight these fellas. Might be worth tying them up with one of the Eldar Avengers here. They're doing a decent job just shooting him, I think. Here's that Leman Russ. Where's the third fire prism? Was it cancelled? Is this it? Oh, this is it. Spotters doing their thing. Where are they? Oh, they're back there. Maybe this fire prism can go after the Manticore. Ogren's on the way for Atlas now. We'll see how that goes with the fire prisms around to disrupt the hell out of them. Why not a las? What's wrong with a las cannon, fellas? I see no las cannons over there. Manticore. You see that yellow smoke there? That's the spotters with their vision shell, which gives you vision, which is what allowed the Manticore to strike. So some good synergy there. But they are going to cap it. Manticore couldn't get the job done. Doesn't have the Storm Eagle upgrade, as you can see. It's done a good job without it. Another Chaos Predator on the way for Thaggoraki. Leman Russ does have Vanquisher, so it's good at hunting large targets and vehicles. It's going after the fire prisms. There's 3 of them there. And oh, where's the Havocs? Where's that autocannon? That's over here. It's bashing power. Yeah, Leman Russ taking a lot of damage. Stormtroopers trying to get around. Took them a bit longer, I think, than Broodwich expected. There's the melt up. Hell Fury strike coming in from Atlas. Leman Russ getting some much needed repairs. Stormtroopers trying to chase, but they might actually go down. CSM on retreat path. And they do go down. Here comes some Ogrins though. Down goes one of the fire prisms. And anti-armor stormtroopers now. Trying to go after another one. There's a rocket run. Some friendly fire, I think, to the stormtroopers. Did they die? They did die. Oh, another fire prism goes down. Leman Russ kicking some ass here. 197 to 56. Good push by the red team. Can they get the VP now? I think they can. Fire prisms can feel like paper sometimes. We have an unmarked Chaos Predator. We have some Noise Marines getting the Blast Master. Down goes the Sorcerer over here. Center turning red. 195 to 55. Seer Council on the field now for Grimm. They'll do a very good job fighting the Ogrins with their power melee weapons and disruption. Also have this passive range damage resistance aura, as you can see, which does apply to them themselves also. Here we go. There's that passive leap in. Not sure why that fellow wasn't knocked over, but now they're retreating. Chaos Predator does have the Mark of Khorne, just buffs the damage of all the weapons. It says by 75%. It's a little bit misleading. It does technically do that. It does it for the bolters, but the actual damage of the autocannon on top is lowered before being buffed by 75%. So it turns out it ends up being a 25% buff for the autocannon on top. Wish it was worded a little bit differently, the tooltip for that. So you think, hey, 75% more damage for all these weapons? That's insane. But the tank actually gets a new weapon before it gets buffed on top. 116 to 75 on the VPs. Catechins hanging out, providing some vision. Manticore on the central VP. Gets a couple of good hits. Man, these Dire Avengers standing up. These level 4 fellas standing up to those Manticore strikes a lot better than I thought they would. They got the decap. We still have a Fire Prism. We still have a Predator tank. Pushing up needlessly here. Eats a shot from the... Look at the damage that Leman Russ did with that shot. That Vanquisher is scary. Demonic summoning here from the Sorcerer. Can use it to push or at least cap. Where are the Havocs? They're being persuaded to leave by Catechins. These guys turn to engage. There's Slaughter up on the CSM. Level 4 now, these fellas. Heretics trying to get in. Catechins standing and fighting. All reliable and then a shotgun blast. The Heretics will eventually get in, I think. Yes, they do. And now the CSM get in there with their chainsaws drawn. Doing some good disruption. I wonder how their melee skill goes up when they draw their chainsaws. I'm sure it tells you on the tooltip, but I don't have access to that particular tooltip. Uh-oh. Pathogens fighting back with their power weapons. These guys in trouble now. Leman Russ kind of isolated, but it's doing okay so far. Blue team cap the mid. 113 to 30. Ogrin trying to get a flank on the Fire Prism. Nope. Change their minds. Go after the tank. The Predator is in trouble. Nope. Some pathing issues getting around this cover. And oh, it's teleported away anyway. Well played, Thaggoraki. Ogrins were wiped. They were wiped. Holy crap. 2-to-1 cap. Is this enough for the blue team to take it? There's a creeping barrage. Some Kassakin on the way now for Broodwich. And a very late tier 3 for Atlas. Down goes the Leman Russ. I think that's going to be GG. And the blue team held on well. Here's a las cannon finally from Broodwich. Oh, they got a decap. They got a decap. Not over yet. Manticore kicking things off. Sorcerer's there to try and cap now. Farseer has her Doombringer at level 6. Manticore doesn't have much XP. I thought he'd done a bit more work than that. Look at the disruption from these Seer Council. That's ridiculous. Knocked over 12 models. GG, says Atlas. And indeed, there is the game. The 2-to-1 win for the blue team. We had a level 8 Sorcerer at the end with the Icon of Tzeentch. Was switching into Demon Armor too. Level 6 Farseer, as we saw. We had a level 7 Lord General. And a level 4 Inquisitor. A fun game. Manticore did some work, but it's still level 1. Fire Prisms were fun. And watching them being hunted was pretty fun too. CSM were level 4. Yeah, still didn't get a mark, eh? I mean, they did really well with their Slaughter. Was nice to see the Seer Council as well. Got level 2 on those fellas. How did the Rangers get on? Level 3. So nice map too. Well done to Adilla and Swift. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.